A very good evening and a warm welcome to this week's first edition of Primetime News. I'm Salima Shumwe-Feleni. If it's your first time joining us, do subscribe, hit the like button, and be sure to click on the notifications bell to stay posted on the latest happenings locally and globally. In tonight's bulletin, we begin in the Xaras region, where the Regional Council Chairperson, Joseph Isaacs, has called on the government to conduct detailed research on why mothers end up engaging in abortions and dumping babies before it considers legalizing abortion in Namibia.
Isaacs made the call at a stakeholder meeting by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Gender, Equality, Social Development and Family Affairs in Keetmanshoop on Friday. He said he personally does not support the legalization of abortion because it is the killing of a human being and he cannot support that. Isaac said it is a mother's pride to have a baby and government should find out why mothers prefer to dump their babies. Isaac stressed that their decision should be guided by research. Xaras Regional Council Acting Chief Regional Officer Bernardictus Diergaardt said it is time for government to look at ways of introducing structures to accommodate children that are to be adopted, as it will help to reduce the increasing incidences of baby dumping. He added that Namibia must engage countries like South Africa that has legalized abortion and see the effects it has made over the years before making any decision on whether or not to legalize abortion. The Standing Committee is having meetings with various stakeholders in the region to get their input on whether government should or should not legalize abortion.
Staying in the Xaras region, in a welcome boost for the Keetmanshoop State Hospital, the Bank of Namibia on Friday handed over medical equipment to the institution. Suzette Chitaura, our Xaras region-based journalist, compiled this report.
The donation includes 16 vital sign monitors, 15 oxygen regulators, 10 inflation pumps, 4 10 liters of oxygen concentrators, 11 boxes of NVA immune boosters, amongst others. Handing over the equipment, the bank's Deputy Director for Corporate Communications, Kadembire Demburuka, said while the bank has observed some green shoots within the economy since the lockdowns and the curfews were lifted, it however recognizes that the country is not out of the woods yet. He said the third wave of the COVID-19 virus highlighted the inherent weaknesses in most economic sectors, the hardest hit being the tourism and hospitality industry, and the social safety nets have taken a considerable strain. Demburuka also added that in the same vein, COVID-19 has also put an extraordinary and unprecedented burden on Namibia's healthcare system. It has challenged its capacity and triggered shortages in life-saving medication and medical equipment. He noted they sincerely hope that this donation will address some of the most pertinent needs in the region so they prepare for any future strikes in the infections.
Shifting attention to the Khomas region, youth in the Agsterlaan residential area of Windhoek have demanded that government introduce the basic income grant for all Namibians between the ages of 19 and 59, as they feel it would help in poverty eradication.
The group, during a press conference organized by the Basic Income Grant Coalition on Thursday, said many political leaders have over the years portrayed a widespread but completely wrong perception that welfare grants like the Basic Income Grant make people dependent. They added that it is evident from 130 Basic Income Grant pilot studies from across the world that the Basic Income Grant enables people to become economically active and to improve their own lives substantially.
We are not saying that poverty will be eradicated totally, but it will help elevate poverty. And that is what we are saying. The youth is tired. The youth is tired of listening to the leaders. We are demanding for a basic income grant. We are asking Hage Geingob president that 42,000 people that he wants to give the basic income grant to is nonsense. How do you determine only 42,000 people are going to get it? That is where you create the inequality. How did you get to that amount? Everybody deserves the basic income grant because this country does not belong to the politicians, it belongs to all of us.
They further noted that they will not accept anything less than a no-strings-attached basic income grant that is by far the best way to reduce poverty, malnutrition, illnesses, crime and school dropout levels. Stressing that a basic income grant of at least 500 Namibian dollars per person per month for people aged 19 to 59 to complement a universal child grant and the social pension is a necessary intervention to ensure minimal decent existence.
In an unfortunate incident in the Kavango West region, a 21-year-old man died instantly after he was struck by lightning at Ntara village on Friday.
The Namibian police force report issued on Sunday indicated that a man was struck by lightning while walking to school around 6:45. He died instantly and his next of kin have been informed. In an unrelated incident in the same region at Sia village, a 45-year-old woman was run over while attempting to cross the Rundu Kuronkuru road. She died on the spot. It is alleged that the driver was overtaking a vehicle in front of him when he allegedly drove into the woman. It is further alleged that the driver fled the scene and parked his car at a nearby shebeen, locked the car and fled into the field on foot. The search to apprehend the suspect continues.
Stand by for your top roundup. In the business and economics segment tonight, we begin locally. The Ministry of Industrialization and Trade on Saturday commenced with public consultations on the national policy on sustainable special economic zones, considered a key priority area of government to promote national economic growth. Erasmus Shaliachwe compiled this report.
Officially opening the public consultations which started in Windhoek, Minister of Industrialization and Trade, Lucia Ipumbu, said special economic zones provide an effective macroeconomic environment where private enterprise development may be conducive, whilst at the general environment, general business-friendly conditions may not all be optimal. Ipumbu added that the specific microspace carved out through benign policy then ensures fertile ground to kickstart private sector development, as well as employment creation. The minister said special economic zones are part of the country's economic arsenal to induce and imbue structural transformation. They are therefore not a magic bullet, and Namibia needs to ensure strategic smart partnerships and dedicate major efforts to ensure Namibian special economic zone regime success. The minister said there's also a need to ventilate through the platform aspects on how the country can synergize and align various interests and mandates of all players that are found in a special economic zone. The consultations will proceed to Walvis Bay as well as other towns.
On to continental business news. The organizer of the week-long Intra-African Trade Fair 2021, African Export-Import Bank, said trade deals worth $36 billion were sealed at the fair, which ended on Sunday in South Africa's Durban city. Xinhua brings us more.
Kanayo Awani, Managing Director of African Export-Import Bank's Intra-African Trade Initiative, made the announcement at the closing ceremony of the Intra-African Trade Fair 2021 on Sunday. She said they welcomed the 11,828 physical attendees, a figure above the target of 10,000. She added that they had 59 exhibitors, of which 46 are from the African continent and the remainder from other parts of the world. The chairperson of the Intra-African Trade Fair 2021 Advisory Council, Olusegun Obasanjo, said his heart was full of joy over the achievements made at the trade fair. He stated that despite the challenges of COVID-19, the show was very successful.
Your sports update is up next, but first the business roundup and a look at what the weather has in store for us across the country.
evening, welcome to All Things Sport on Sport Planet with me, Michael Madimba. In the sports segment tonight, we begin with Formula One. Mercedes Lewis Hamilton made it 2 wins in as many weekends in the 2021 Formula One season, dominating the Qatar Grand Prix to move within 8 points of championship leader Max Verstappen. Xinhua brings us more.
In F1's first visit to Qatar, Hamilton was the class of the field all weekend long at the Losail circuit and took an easy win from his pole position, shrugging off concerns about tyre wear after several other drivers suffered late punctures. Verstappen's race was one of damage limitations after being demoted to 7th on the grid for ignoring yellow flags during qualifying, but the Red Bull driver quickly made his way up to 2nd behind Hamilton, with the two title rivals straight ahead of the chasing pack. Though Verstappen had no answer to Hamilton's outright pace and had to settle for 2nd place, the Dutchman did at least limit the damage to his championship lead by taking the bonus point for fastest lap away from Hamilton. Behind the top two, Fernando Alonso rolled back the years with a fine drive to 3rd in his Alpine, marking the first time since 2014 that the veteran had appeared on an F1 podium.
Moving on to the English Premier League. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says he hopes to have left Manchester United in a better state than he inherited them 3 years ago after the Norwegian was sacked by the club on Sunday. AFP brings us more.
A 4-1 thrashing at the hands of lowly Watford finally saw the ex-fallen Solskjaer's position after the club's hierarchy kept faith with the 48-year-old in recent weeks, despite humiliating home defeats to rivals Liverpool and Manchester City. Solskjaer said in an interview with United's in-house media, the club means everything to him and together they are a good match, but unfortunately he couldn't get the results they needed and it is time for him to step aside. Solskjaer was handed the job on an interim basis in December 2018 thanks to his legendary status at the club after scoring the winning goal in the 1999 Champions League final to complete a historic treble. After winning 14 of his first 19 matches, he was then handed the job on a permanent deal. 2 seasons of steady progress saw United finish in the Premier League top 4 in back-to-back seasons for the first time since Alex Ferguson retired as boss in 2013. Former United midfielder Michael Carrick, who was part of Solskjaer's coaching staff, will take charge of Tuesday's crucial Champions League clash against Villarreal.
Your sports roundup is up next. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's bulletin. A friendly reminder, please subscribe to this channel, like, share with friends and family, as well as add your comments in the comment section. Do make a date with us tomorrow for your Tuesday edition of Primetime News. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire production crew, wishing you a good night.